welcome. This is Antoine Lee.
And I'm Pam Lee.
And this is now session 2, so to speak, of our time together on Lockdown in Love. As we go through the COVID virus, all the best to everyone out there. We pray you are safe, and we have been praying for our family members, friends. Personally, I've been going through just some concerns with family that we really want to be mindful of at this time. And at the same time, we want to be able to encourage you, because it does have a toll in terms of your relationship together. This has been an opportunity, as I shared before. There's also been a challenge. I want to talk to you about a very specific challenge that some of you may be going through by this phase of this whole lockdown. And I call it the, how would you say, it's a special term I would like to be able to use for you. The WYDN Syndrome. WYDN Syndrome is, what you doing now? That's basically what happens. One partner tends to be more of a pursuer, and you're sitting at home, you're doing things, you're active, and you kind of want your husband or your wife to be with you. So you want them to join in. So you say, what you doing now? You know, in essence, and you want them to kind of go. Whereas the other spouse,
yes, wants to do nothing and is fine doing nothing and don't mind sitting for hours doing nothing.
And that's what ends up happening with Pam and myself, is that I tend to be the one who, wants her to look at something. I've been working on this. I want you to take a look at that. I'm always checking in. What you doing now? What you doing now? And it kind of can be overwhelming. I had to be very conscious of like, man, I don't need to always pull Pam in on everything I'm doing at every single moment, giving her some space. What did you learn, Pam?
I'm learning that I have been giving different people advice to say, plan your day. And I figured it's just me and Antoine. What kind of plan do we need? We don't have little people. We're fine. But we need a plan, because I find myself trying not to be deceitful, because Antoine is going to come in and ask me, what are you doing? And I'm not doing anything, but I feel like if I leave my day open, he's going to find things for me to do. And I don't really want to do those things.
Or join in on
things that I really have no interest in. And so I've been working really hard on not being, making sure that I think about what I want to get done and clearly communicate it, so I'm not in a position of all day long feeling irritated that he's trying to pull me in to do things because he wants to have my company.
And I wanted to give a good solution to WYDN syndrome that one of you may be dealing with in your marriage, or, well, actually both of you, or one of them is dealing with it. And it's this: rituals of connection is a concept that I teach. It comes from my training as a marriage counselor, that I think this is an excellent opportunity to really work out together. So what is a ritual of connection? It's those things that we schedule and we agree upon with our spouse to build a sense of shared meaning in our relationship. It's those things that are in our schedules, they're talked about, they're agreed upon, and they happen in a rhythm over and over again. There's at least 5 big domains you could think about in rituals of connection. For example, just so you know what I'm talking about: celebration, birthdays, holidays, how you're going to celebrate them, when you're going to celebrate them, the gazillions of details that go with that, whether it's, like I said, from a birthday all the way to your cultural and religious and spiritual traditions and the like. Also, things like celebration and recreation, fun stuff, vacations, how many getaways you want to go on. You want to sit down and have a movie night, especially on this lockdown phase. Any other things with recreation?
No, that's it. Play games.
Times to play games together. That's a ritual of recreation. Also, every couple has rituals related around get ready, hold on to your seatbelt, related to intimacy and sexuality. That our sex lives shouldn't necessarily be just like throwing up a whole bunch of dominoes in the air and seeing where they fall. There should be something that is scheduled. There's nothing, in fact, it's helpful to have an intimacy life where you schedule, this is our special time and this is our special season. This is so it's thought about. So even a ritual of connection around sexuality, again, in your schedule. And of course, finally, a ritual around everyday activities. What can we do that will strengthen our marriage in little ways every day? One of the most encouraging things I would like you to leave with today is talking about a ritual of connection for at the least your everyday activities. In other words, when you wake up in the morning, when you, in this case, go to sleep.
Meals, when we're going to eat together. Are we going to do our hellos and goodbyes?
Hellos, goodbyes, because one of you may still be working.
Right.
But something that you do, it's up to you, that you feel good about, that you'll do in small ways every day. We've even had before, we talked about the 60-second hug. And there's also something called the 30-second kiss, which is pretty intense. But any ritual that you feel would be helpful for you in terms of everyday activities, I think that's the most helpful. What would you think is the second one out of that list?
Intimacy. Really thinking about it, because you're home. And I know for me, I've had to work on still making sure I'm thinking about it and that I'm not looking frumpy. That I get up and just because we're home, don't spend the whole day in my pajamas, but thinking about looking good, smelling good, and planning for fun times at night.
And so look, thank you so much. We want to close. Remember, this is just some possible solutions for WYDN syndrome. Those who are like me, don't overwhelm your spouse. Give them some space, but plan the things you want to do together. What do you recommend for the other side?
And for those of us who really will sit around and do nothing, think about what is our yes. What are those things throughout the day that we can say yes to, that we can participate in with the family and with our spouse?
Awesome. Thank you.